All right, I'm back off of a Super Bowl weekend. I guess today I'm going to talk about the addition and subtraction of integers. Addition and subtraction of integers. The simplest way that I can give you a definition for it, because it's different ones you may run across, but the main thing is they're whole numbers, right? So they're not fractions that include 0 and the negative numbers. So if we think about counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is those numbers plus 0 and also their opposites. All right, so we're talking about all of your whole numbers, negative, positive, and it also includes 0. Now, we normally use our integers when we set up a number line. See, there's my 0, there's my positive numbers, whole numbers. There's my 0, there are my negative whole numbers. All of these numbers that you see are considered integers. All right, these are all integers. I like to talk about integers in the form of a situation dealing with money. That's the number one way to drive this home. So if you had $15 and I need to borrow $10, question is, how much money would you have? All right, so follow along. So you have $15, about to borrow, or I'm borrowing $10. That means you have $5 left. And most students that hear that, they pretty much understand that you don't have to go into the explanation, right? But what you do want to do is take these words and just turn it into a mathematical statement. That's about it, all right? Because the have means something just like borrow means something, all right? So we're going to turn that into a mathematical statement. All right, so there's your 15. So you have 15, borrow 10, now you have 5 left, all right? So this is indicating a subtraction, all right? This indicates a subtraction. But this isn't where the issue happens when we talk about subtraction of integers, all right? Subtraction of integers, remember, they include all of your whole numbers that are positive, also all of your whole numbers that are negative, and also 0. So what if you have 15, then I borrow 15. Quite naturally, okay, you have 15, I borrow 15, that means $0 now. Have 15, borrow 15, $0 now. And as a statement, you have 15 minus the 15 is equal to 0. Once again, this isn't really the issue when we start talking about integers. The integer issue or the integer common mistakes happen when we have to deal with these negative numbers or negative results, all right? So just because you're subtracting doesn't mean every time you subtract, your numbers are going to be positive or 0. There's a whole nother side to the number line that's below 0. And that's what we have to take into consideration anytime we're doing addition and subtraction of integers. We have to take in consideration positive, negative, and 0. So what happens if you have $10 but needs to borrow $15, right? That normally pulls up a red flag. And normally when that red flag pops up, someone is going to say that you can't do it. So the simple fact that they say they can't do it, that's a good thing because they notice something is a little different than just saying 15 minus 10. So that's a good thing. But the bad thing is if they really believe that this cannot be done, then they're going to miss the whole point of what integers are in the first place. All right, so you have $10 and I need to borrow 15. The red flag is something right here. You're going to say, I don't have enough. And that's where we have to get into it. So if you don't have enough, how much more do you need to get so that I could borrow that 15? And that's when you say, oh, I still need $5. You get what I'm saying? I still need $5. If I have 10, but I'm trying to give you 15, I can give you the 10, but I'm still out $5 that I need to give you. That at that point, that's when we talk about, okay, now you're in the negative. That's a negative 5 now because that's a 5 that you don't have. All right, so if you have $10, I need to borrow 15. That means you still owe $5. So we need to turn this into a mathematical statement. And there it is. 10 minus 15 is a negative 5. 10 minus 15 is a negative 5. So money is one way to kind of grasp the concept of your integers, especially if we talk about addition and subtraction. Okay, when is your result positive? When is your result negative? If we think about in terms of money, a lot of times we can start at least getting into the ballpark of, okay, this answer should be positive, this answer should be negative. Now, the other way that I like to talk about integers is literally by using the number line itself. So kind of like when I was talking about that 10 minus 15 is a negative 5. If that's 10 and I say minus 15, that means I have to count in that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And there's your negative 5. That's that same result. So when you're adding and subtracting integers, technically all you're doing is moving up and down the number line. You're moving a number of spaces and you're landing on a number, or you're going back and you're landing on another number. That's all addition and subtraction is when we're talking about a number line. You're just moving up and down this number line. All right, so I have a positive 4 and I have a positive 3. If the signs are the same, you can add. So that means my answer should be a positive 7. That's no different from saying 4 plus 3. Now I have a positive 4 minus a 3. The signs are not the same, so I do not add. So I have a positive 4, I have a minus 3 or a negative 3. That means my answer should be a positive 1. And remember, positive 4 is right here. A negative 3 means I go back 3 times, 1, 2, 3. And that answer is a positive 1, because look where negative 1 is, way over there. So positive 1. That's why this answer is a positive 1. Now I have a negative 4 plus 3. These signs are not the same. I do not add. All right. So my answer here is a negative 1. Now notice over here I had a positive 1, but over here I had a negative 1. If I use my number line to verify, negative 4 is right here. If I add 3, that means I go that way, right? So there's negative 4, 1, 2, 3. That's why I have a negative 1. Because I added 3, I landed on negative 1. All of these results are nothing but you understanding that you're starting at one number and then you're moving either left or right based on this being a plus or a minus to see what number you stop at. Now right here I have a negative 4 and a negative 3. So a negative 4 minus a 3, right? So let's see. These signs are the same, so that means I can add, all right? So that should give me a negative 7. Notice how I didn't put a 1 down there or anything like that. These were the same signs, so I add these up just like you would if they were two positive numbers. I added them up because they're two negative numbers. All right, so negative 4 minus 3. There's negative 4. Minus 3 means I have to go backwards 3 times. 1, 2, 3. There it is, negative 7. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. So look at that. Both of these signs were the same. So I added them and got the sum. 4 and 3 is 7, so it's positive 7. These signs are different, so I get the difference, right? That's why we call subtraction the difference. All right, so different signs means we're going to be basically using subtraction. So 4 minus 3 is a positive 1. Same thing here. These are not the same sign, so once again, I do a difference. And so if I have a negative 4 plus a 3, my result is negative 1. And then here we go again. We have same signs. So I add them up or I get the sum. 4 and 3 is 7, but since they're all negatives, my answer is negative 7. Now, if there's any parents or adults watching this and you have children, family members, friends, nieces, nephews, or whatever, and people that close to you or in your family that need help with math, try to work with them, especially when we talk about integers. The best way to start is not to focus on the result, right? Not to focus on the answer, but to focus on, can we get our signs correct first, right? If you can just write down a whole bunch of different problems similar to what I did there, use the same numbers over and over again, but just change the signs around and just start playing with the signs and say, okay, is this going to be a negative result or a positive result, right? Just work on that, number one. If they can understand negatives and positives, then after that's straight, then start working on, okay, what is the final result? Like, so you know the answer is a negative, but a negative what? And then that's when you can start focusing in on the accuracy, all right? So number one, focus on signs. Then number two, start focusing on the accuracy. All right? And just in case you haven't seen this, or if this is your first time seeing this, you can go to YouTube and type in BJ Jeffries. That's me. And a few of them will pop up. The one that you want to join is this one with this picture. That's me. This one right here. Join that one. That's the one you subscribe to. I'm putting up videos every day. I report to work.